Hello students, this is Rashmi Singh ma'am here, and today I am going to teach you A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. But before I start this fourth poem of CBSE English Core 12th syllabus, Code 301, I would like to address you and speak certain things to you which is very important. First of all, an English poem should not be taught in Hindi. For that you have Flamingo, that version from which English to Hindi is given. English poem should be always taught in English, and you should try and get a grasp of it in English. This improves your personality, and this improves your perception of the poem, and you can write better in exam. Because don't forget, in exam you will never be writing in Hindi. You will be writing all the answers in English. Next, learn the poems, because it is very important, because when and where certain things are being told, how you have to explain certain things, because if you know the poem by heart, it would be very easy for you to know which line came after what line. So this would be in your mind, everything would be here, and you can very quickly and easily complete your paper. Next thing is, the third thing is, I would be discussing with you before your board exam certain hacks, how to get good marks, because but this I would be doing before board exam, and then I would be giving you notes also and sharing as newsletters. I would be giving you notes in which everything, literary devices and rest, your rhyme scheme, to important questions, to the important lines, RTCs, everything would be given. So let us start the poem. A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. As I told you, John Keats is a British romantic poet, and this poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived in Mount Latmus, has vision of Cynthia, moon goddess. So this poem is extract of the Endymion, another big poem, that is Endymion, a poetic romance. So he has a vision of Cynthia, who is the moon goddess, and he goes from one forest to another, from mountains to the hill, to seek Cynthia, because he is in love with Cynthia, and this feeling of joy, this feeling of beauty fills his life with loveliness, with happiness. But here in this poem, the poet does not only advocates this kind of love. He does not advocate only this kind of love. He advocates that he tells that anything of beauty in a life, maybe it's flower, maybe it's nature, maybe it's the talk of our parents, good talks of parents, maybe it is the fight with siblings, which later on in your life you feel that it was so silly, and maybe the enjoyment which you do in your classes, so many things in your school you enjoy, sometimes the pranks, you remember that day we did this and that ma'am had scolded us so much, and then you remember all things, and when you sit together, you have a party, you really enjoy all those things, and at that time your entire persona, your life is filled with joy and happiness. You enjoy that thoroughly, and you're relaxed, you're relieved, you're filled with positivity. So this is what the poet is trying to bring out through this poem. So let us start this poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It never passes into nothingness. Nothingness, oblivion, Oblivion. Oblivion is nothingness, not knowing anything. I was oblivious of the fact that he or she was coming. Oblivious, not knowing. So he's saying anything of beauty is here to stay with us, and it will never go away. It's joy, it's beauty, the friends, the talks, everything is going to stay with us in our mind, in our hearts, in our soul, and it increases by leaps and bounds. It is there, going to stay there with us, and will keep a bower quiet for us. Bower, as many of you must be knowing by now, bower, B-O-W-R, B-O-W-E-R is a shady place. So all these things of beauty, all these things make a great memory for us. And these memories and these beautiful feelings become a shady place for us where we can relax. So whenever we think of these memory and all these things, we are rejuvenated, R-E-J-U-V-E-N-A-T-E-D. We are rejuvenated, we are relaxed, we are refreshed. So all these things of beauty fill us with positivity. This is what the poet is trying to say. The poet is trying to say, do away with negativity of your life. And there are so many things of beauty around us. Think of those things of beauty and do away with the negativity. Let us go ahead. For us, and sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So the poet, as I told you, as I explained to you, the poet is saying that there are so many things of beauty which makes a shady place for us, which makes a great memory for us. So what we do, we are having sweet dreams, we are relaxed, we are refreshed, and our breathing is quiet. We are out of tension, we are out of worries, because for that moment, whenever we are thinking, a smile floats on our lips and we are lost in the beauty of those things. It can be your teacher, it can be the talks of your parents, as I told you, anything, it can be anything. Therefore, on every morrow is every morning, the coming morning, get up when you get up. Are we wreathing a flowery band to bind to the earth? A flowery band to bind us to the earth. So he says, every morning when you get up, wreathing, when you wreath, you make a garland. So wreathing a flowery band. So every morning we are making a flowery band. But how are we wreathing a flowery band? How can we make a flowery band in our imagination? So he's asking that connect yourself with the nature. Connecting, wreathing, stitching. You stitch yourself with nature. And how? He asks us, please jot it down also, students. He asks us to connect mentally with the nature, to establish, E-S-T-A-B-L-I-S-H, to establish a mental vibration. Mental vibration, vibe, V-I-B-E, mental connection. He asks us to establish a mental connection with nature, because nature gives us refreshment, it relaxes us, all the beauties of the nature, flowers, beautiful animals and certain things. If we have that kind of eye, if we have that perception, we are never going to be unhappy in our lives. Spite of despondence, spite, S-P-I-T-E, spite, vicious, being vicious, spite, animosity, being enemy, animosity, being enemy. So the poet is saying, spite of despondence, despondence is sadness, despondence is desperation. He says that spite of despondence, in our lives we have spite, viciousness of desperation. Poison of desperation, poison of sadness. We are sad at times because so many unwanted things happen in our lives, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures. Inhuman dearth, D-E-A-R-T-H, shortage, not death. Inhuman, not human-like, animal-like, because animals are not rational. They cannot think, many animals, and behave. But we are humans. We can think what is right and wrong. But some humans, they become so negative that people, we say that they are inhuman acts they do. So inhuman dearth of noble natures. There are shortage of good people in our lives. Noble natures, good people. Noble natures, please. Noble nature, alliteration also. Noble, N and N. When repetition of two letters of the same words, 2 or 3 letters come in sequence, that is alliteration. So figure of speech here is noble natures, alliteration, N. Inhuman dearth of noble natures of the gloomy days. So what are the sadness here? So I told you, learn the poem. So when you learn this paragraph or everything, because if when they ask this question to you, what are the things, the negative things mentioned in this poem? It would be a spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, sad days, when somebody is separated from you, when you have lost somebody in your life, where the final doom, death has come and somebody has been separated, or you have broken up with somebody, your friend, and you or something, you have not performed so well in your exam. All these things make you depressed, but there are people who come, supposedly you don't score well, then your friends come to you and they make your life, good, happy. They say, don't be like this in next exam. Your parents say sometimes, nothing, it will be good. Next time you will perform better. Your teachers, they motivate you. So of all the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and or darkened ways, of all the unhealthy and or darkened, over darkened days, ways, unhealthy and over darkened ways, these are the negative talks, the negative acts of people against you. There can be so many people who are against you and who do not behave properly to you, and they're always pulling you down, and you know that you deserve certain things in life, but there are people who misbehave with you. But you have to come out of that gloom. You have to come out of that unhealthy days and ways, gloomy days. So the poet is saying, of all the unhealthy and or darkened ways, of all the problems that we have in our lives, made for our searching. And if made for our searching means what? When we look around, when we look here and there, we see that so many things negative, there are strewn around us. Strewn means thrown around us, present around us. But then the poet says that things of beauties are also there. Yes, in spite of all. So the poet says, in spite of all the negative things around you, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. There are some shapes of beauty. Your friend, your mother, your teacher, your pet dog, when you're sad, it comes to you. Anybody, a good movie, anything can relax you. Anybody can encourage you. There are so many people. So always do not sink into that gloom, sink into that depression. Life is a big journey. You have to go ahead. It is always not that today you have not succeeded, so tomorrow also you will not succeed. Life is a long ongoing process and a journey. See, we say that Obama retired at a certain age, and in that age Trump came to power. So Trump came to power in his retirement age. So everybody's destiny is not the same. So somebody can achieve in a very young age, and somebody can achieve in the later stage of their lives, and somebody can be not very good, not an achiever, but can lead a very happy life. So life is all about happiness, and how this happiness is achieved when you get motivation from people, when you look at the things of beauty near you and you get happiness from it. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. What is pall? P-A-L-L. Pall is the sadness from our dark spirits. Dark spirits means gloomy, negative thoughts. When we are very gloomy, when we are very sad, dark spirits, when we are very sad, then somebody comes or something, few things can come to our rescue and make us happy. And what are those things? Then the poet lists those things which can actually bring happiness into our lives. So that is why I am telling you again, learn the poem. Even if you just jot down all these big, when the in examination they ask you to list down the things of beauties which actually bring happiness to you, then you can quickly just jot down if you have learned the poem. Such the sun, the moon, trees, old and young. So what are these things of beauty? Sun, moon, trees, old, young, sprouting a shady boon. Sprouting, germinating, giving you shady boon. As I told you, they give when you're very tired and you're very desperate and you're walking in a summer afternoon, then these things, trees old and young give you shady boon. Boon is what? Boon is something when it is given. Opposite of boon is bane. So boon is when something is given to you as a reward. That is a boon. So it is a reward. Trees young and old is reward, because when you're very tired, you want to sit down somewhere, you have these trees. For simple sheep means any kind of pet. You have simple small sheep which is very cute, your pet, anything with which you can play. And such are daffodils which grow in great number, and their yellow beautiful flowers they fill the nature with beauty, with the green world, nature. These daffodils fill the green world, nature, with their beauty. So these things are listed as the things of beauty. Live in and clear rills. Rills are waterfalls or small river in mountainous region. These are the flowing, sparkling water of the rills. They give you happiness. They are beautiful. That for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. So these clear rills, when you visit any hill station during summertime, what happens? You feel so rejuvenated, relaxed, and you feel so nice because you see these small mountainous rivers, waterfalls which have clear sparkling water, and then you go and then sometimes you bathe, you sit there, you feel, and especially in the hot season, they are like a boon, they are like a reward to you against the hot season. Make a cooling covert. Covert means they make a cooling cover against the hot season. The mid-forest brake, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose bloom. Mid-forest brake, not that brake which you put in the car. And mid-forest brake means in the mid of the forest, when you suddenly go there, sometimes you get the beautiful aroma, perfume of musk roses, and these musk roses bloom, are the blossom. These musk roses are of pink color. They are very beautiful, and their perfume, their fragrance is extremely enchanting and enticing, and it seems that somebody has sprinkled means in small droplets of it has been thrown all across in the forest, and it is very rejuvenating, it is very relaxing, it is very refreshing. Next, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. Very important line. It is mostly asked in CBSE. Ask grandeur of the doom. Grandeur is the magnificence. Magnificence, magnificence. Magnificence is the greatness of the dooms. Dooms are the deads. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Mighty dead. Who are these mighty dead? These mighty deads are our great ancestors. These mighty deads are our great ancestors, of which we feel proud, just like Maharana Pratap, Ashoka the Great. And whenever we feel their stories which we hear, and the stories which we hear about them, of their bravery, our heart is filled with so much of pride. So this grandeur is the magnificence of these mighty dead of the doom. When we go to or we see, visit these palaces, and when we hear and when we listen, when we perceive, when we see, our heart, mind, soul and everything is filled with kind of pride and rejuvenation, because or our soldiers, those who are giving lives for us, we are filled with a kind of patriotism. We are rejuvenated, we are relaxed, that we feel so proud of our soldiers, those who are giving life for you all, for us and for our country. So these things, mighty dead, the grandeur, the magnificence of the dooms of the dead, all lovely tales, and we have heard or read. So all the lovely tales, stories we have heard or read, as I told you, have been told by our grandmothers, our grandfathers, mostly grandmothers, because all these stories, they rejuvenate us, they actually make us feel so positive about everything. All lovely tales we have we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink. So all these things of beauty, all these stories which we read, which we hear, what becomes? They become an endless fountain. You must have seen a fountain. It's a spring which comes out from the earth. So similarly, it's a kind of spring, rejuvenating spring. So what? Endless fountain of immortal drink. Immortal drink is elixir. Elixir. Elixir is a kind of drink which you call amrit in Hindi. Elixir gives you rejuvenating powers. Elixir don't make you die, because that is the elixir, elixir, makes you rejuvenate. So all these tales, all these stories of our mighty deads and of our soldiers, of our leaders, of our ancestors, our great ancestors, keep us rejuvenated, keep us fresh, and we feel so patriotic, we feel so proud about them. A sense of pride fills our mind, our heart, soul and everything, and we are like always so happy and so rejuvenated, so relaxed. And it becomes our savior whenever we are depressed, whenever we are in a negative thought. So we should think about them, we should read a book about them, and we can ask somebody to narrate a story, we can visit, we can go for a vacation, or at least a book is very handy. We can always read a book about them, and we feel how they had actually combated all the problems of their lives and did so much for us. Then we can feel rejuvenated this way, and all these tales become an endless fountain of immortal drink given to us by God. And all this nature, the things of beauty, who is giving us all these things? God is giving us all these things, and God is giving us as an elixir. God is giving us an elixir, immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. Heaven's brink is the edge. Brink, B-R-I-N-K, is the edge. E-D-G-E. It is pouring. It seems that God himself is pouring from the heaven to us all the beauties of the nature, all the good people in our life. Our life doesn't always have the bad people. We have so many good people in our life. So think about those good people and be happy, because a thing of beauty is joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It never passes into nothingness. So consider this video as a thing of beauty and continuously watch, so that this perception of a thing of beauty is a joy forever goes deep down into your heart, soul, mind, and you feel rejuvenated, relaxed and happy. Thank you so much. God bless.